What's happening, guys? Thank you so much for joining me again today. Yes, it has been a few days since my last video, but I have been absolutely flat out doing some ICO reviews, and I got a few other things up in the works which I will be announcing quite soon, which are really exciting. So look, let's get straight to it. Today, what I want to do is cover a little bit of FUD that has been hitting the Bitcoin news lately, and as we know, the corporate media do love a bit of FUD. So what is happening today? Well, today it's child porn in Bitcoin's blockchain. So if you've heard about what's going on here, we have a few news articles that have come out saying that there are child porn images and child porn links hidden in Bitcoin's blockchain. As we know, Bitcoin is the oldest of the cryptocurrencies, been around for about 10 years now. So, it is quite odd to hear that kind of stuff, and it can be a bit, you could be a bit taken back when you hear that, and a bit of a shock. Nobody wants to hear that kind of thing about something they believe in. But guys, just remember that FUD will always be here. Last week, we were funding terrorist attacks with Bitcoin. The week before that, we were drug dealers with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies were responsible for people's deaths, according to Bill Gates, directly because of money that had gone through, crypto that had bought drugs and caused people to overdose and die. So next week, it'll probably be something new. Let's have a look at some of the articles that were out regarding this. So here we have one from The Guardian, saying child abuse imagery found within Bitcoin's blockchain. So they say, firstly, the research was conducted by a German university, the RWTH Aachen University in Germany, who said, they had found around 1,600 files that were currently stored in Bitcoin's blockchain. Of the files found, they say that at least one was of sexual content and one to be thought to be an image of child abuse. And two that contained 274 links to child abuse content, 142 of which linked to dark web services. They say specifically, our analysis shows that certain content, e.g. illegal pornography, can render the mere possession of a blockchain illegal, yada, yada, yada. So this article is dated the 20th of March, 2018. We have another article from the 22nd of March 2018 saying pretty similar things. Bitcoin could become illegal almost everywhere after shocking discovery in the blockchain. Guys, just look at these titles. It doesn't take a genius to see that these attention-grabbing, money-hungry titles are designed to suck people into their website, aka clickbait. Okay, it's absolute nonsense. So this one pretty much saying relatively the same thing, saying that, Bitcoin could become completely illegal because it has child porn on it. Let's have a look at this one. This one is from, wow, have a look at this date here, guys. Bitcoin's child porn problem. The 5th of March, 2014. So we go back 4 years, more than 4 years, and wow, surprise, we have a similar article. Bitcoin is being used to buy and sell child sexual abuse material, according to the UK's Internet Watch Foundation. Yada, yada, yada. It goes on to say similar things. Content, including child pornography, uncovered the trend last month and released a report on it. And on it goes. And we have another article here. If you own Bitcoin, you also own links to child porn. What is this date? May 8th, 2013. This one's going back almost 5 years. And look at this. I think they're showing a chain here. It's like a blockchain, but it's an old rusty blockchain. How's that for using imagery to try and convey an image? To try and convey a message, rather. Bitcoin, the world's most popular digital currency, is controversial for many reasons, including its reputation as a way to buy drugs and other contraband online. But now Bitcoin has been tied to something even worse: child pornography. A loophole in the code that powers Bitcoin, which heretofore, what is that word? Heretofore, has mostly been used to post jokes, was discovered this week to contain repellent links to sex sites, including child porn, according to CNN Money. So, is there a common link here, guys? These are just organizations owned by the man, the Daily Dot news organizations. We know by now that 95% of the news organizations, the media around the world, are owned by the handful of organizations, corporations that are at the top, pulling all the strings, the puppet masters, as if you like to call them, who are making all the decisions, that send the messages out to the world, that tell people what to think. So this is just another thing. My mum came into my office, this is my office, into my studio, I'd rather call it, just yesterday, saying, oh, Sim, did you hear what's happening with Bitcoin? They found child porn on Bitcoin. All worried because she saw an article on the news, it popped up on her Google messages on her phone or something. You know, and this is the kind of people that they're going for. The people that don't know enough to do their own research and to look into things and to realize that there are usually ulterior motives. Yeah, always ulterior motives. Look at all this FUD going on. BitcoinTalk.org. Now, here is a forum that we can trust. These are people in our scene, learned people who understand what is going on. So no is the title of this blog. There isn't child porn on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, you're not going to see something like this on theage.com or theguardian.com because it doesn't sell. They would rather there be porn on the blockchain, and they would rather that the blockchain is killing people because of drugs, because Bill Gates said so, and that Bitcoin is funding terrorism because that sells. That's going to get click. This isn't going to get clicks. They want the articles that are going to get excitement going on, you know, and fear, uncertainty, doubt people, FUD. It's what they are creating. So this blog here goes on to explain what happened, and also describes how, you know, this has been happening for years. In this paragraph here, it describes what it is accused of, and it says that it can hold files and pictures, and then it goes on to say this all sounds pretty damning, and given some of the alarmist headlines that papers have generated, you would have thought the FBI van was speeding its way to every address known to operate a full Bitcoin node. But that's not quite how the real story goes. No, there isn't child porn on the Bitcoin blockchain. The Daily Dot cranks up the FUD, as all the newspapers crank up the FUD. The news is old. This has been happening for years now. The CP, so the child porn on the blockchain story isn't news, and it isn't new either. In fact, it was first dragged up in 2013 and has been revived 6 years on purely because a newspaper has given the claim an air of legitimacy. News outlets were quick to jump on the story again, which was then widely shared by attention trolls such as Brianna Wu. I'm not sure who Brianna Wu is, that's not where I got this information from, but it is circulating around the internet. The false hypothesis comes from the fact that it's possible to encode information in the blockchain. That was how Satoshi famously hid the message in the Genesis block, the Times 03 Jan 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. Anyone inspecting the blockchain won't find these words, however. Instead, they'll find the following hash, and then it goes on to list this long hash number right there. That is the block's Coinbase parameter, nothing to do with Coinbase, the company, written in hex. A research paper published in July 2017 titled Data Insertion in Bitcoin's Blockchain explores the topic in more detail and explains how the Coinbase data is arbitrary and can be up to 100 bytes in size. Only miners have the ability to insert data in this manner, and is typically used to signal mining support for proposed protocol changes. There are 5 other ways in which data can be encoded on the Bitcoin blockchain, and it is the _return option that is at the center of the child pornography story. The 2017 paper explains that this method is appropriate for inserting small amounts of data or transaction metadata, but it is not suitable for large quantities of data. So you can go ahead and read this. You know, the blog just have more people just saying how silly the article is and that it has no basis of truth at all. Is merely FUD, guys. It is absolutely FUD. And here's another news article that we can have a look at from bitcoin.com. So news from bitcoin.com. March 23, 2018. No, there isn't child porn on the Bitcoin blockchain. So here it goes ahead and describes pretty much what we saw just earlier in the Bitcoin Talk forums. Describes all the same things, but it goes on with a little bit more information there. Don't believe the headlines, guys. It says right here, don't believe the headlines. Asserting that there is child pornography on the blockchain would be like strolling through the US Capitol building, dropping a scrap of paper containing a deep web address, and then claiming that the American government is storing obscene content. As respected Bitcoin commentator Nick Carter wrote, any journalist writing about arbitrary content injection into the Bitcoin blockchain should be extremely careful to detail to what extent that content exists, is extractable, viewable, etc. A text string which is a URL link to a website displaying a thing is not the thing itself. That is an extremely bad interpretation. Do not conflate the two. If you are willing to claim that the blockchain contains X, you should be able to prove that you can extract X. Steganography, that's a fun word as well. Steganography and blockchain data insertion are fascinating topics that deserve scrutiny and further study. But to assert that the blockchain contains child pornography is misleading to the point of falsehood. It's possible to encode a hidden link inside the database, including Facebook, Twitter, and Wikipedia. The act of doing so proves nothing other than the fascination some people have for concealing messages in messages. And that's been happening since 1499. Wonderful. So there's that right there. There's even another one here that says no child porn on the Bitcoin blockchain from thehackingteam.com. So guys, I'll have links to all of these down in the description section of the video also. So, you know, when you hear stories like this, when you see stories talking about Bitcoin being used for selling drugs, as if fiat money hasn't been used for selling drugs for the other 100 years or so, you know, and that's been going on. And, you know, Bitcoin can be used to fund terrorism, because terrorism is something that, you know, terrorists use cryptocurrencies and they're signed up and they're trading on exchanges. And, you know, I don't think so. And even if it is happening, then there's nothing saying that the US dollar isn't doing that too. We know it's a fact that the US dollar is the biggest contributor for drug money and terrorism. So what are you going to do? Cut out the US dollar? Stop fiat money from existing? No, absolutely not. That's ridiculous. Well, that's just about half as ridiculous as it is blaming Bitcoin on these problems as well, or cryptocurrencies in general. And again, guys, when you hear stories like this, be happy, because it means that the powers that be are afraid. They're trying to do everything that they can to stop Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies from progressing any further, because they know that their power is at jeopardy. They are afraid. They're shaking in their boots that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have the power to topple the ones at the top and finally give the people at the bottom, all of us, the other 99%, a little bit of hope, a little bit of chance to succeed in this world without getting stepped on and pushed down every time we get a step ahead. This system was created to keep them in power and to keep us down. If I get shot in the next 2 days, you know why. That's all from me now. I'm Sin. This is the Crypt Keeper. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. And I'll see you guys soon with another video. Cheers, guys. See you later.